Hello everyone, I'm Kalen North, and today we're going to be talking about the Dahan Insurrection scenario with England 6 on the Thematic board. England 6 is either difficulty 11 or 10, depending on who you talk to, so this is potentially a difficulty 18 game in our statistics. The app version only calls it difficulty 17, but it's pretty hard either way. We're going to be playing on the Northeast board. I think this board has a pretty good setup for Thunderspeaker, who is going to be our pick, obviously, for taking on this scenario solo. And let's just jump right into it. All right, Invaders Exploring the Mountains, which is a great opening for us on this board. It lets us go top track, putting presence in lands 3 and 7, and use Sudden Ambush to basically handle the entire first Invader cycle, as well as getting one of these isolated Dahan out from land 6. Invaders Exploring the Sands, which is also great, so we're off to a good start here. We can simply gather one Dahan from land 7 in, and because of where the starting buildings are, we're not going to get any adjacency builds in land 8 or in land 7 if we can keep it under control, keep the jungles under control. So I'm going to continue going top track here. And putting presence in lands 7 and 4. Lands 7 and 6, because we want to be able to get that Dahan out at some point. And there isn't a good Words of Warning target, so we're simply going to Voice of Thunder this turn. Invaders Ravaging the Mountains, Build in the Sands, and Exploring the Wetlands. So that's a little different. I am going to Voice of Thunder from land 7. I'm going to push 1 Dahan into land 4 and 2 Dahan into land 5. We'll move presence in with those Dahan and then deal damage and lead the Furious Assault to take out that town in land 5. That's going to let us get rid of the adjacency builds on the corners here if we can take care of land 9 relatively soon. But we are going to want to Words of Warning and Manifestation this turn. Just for the, well, actually we can probably skip Words of Warning because there isn't going to be a good Ravage target for it. So, I think because of that, I'm actually going to reclaim early and use Sudden Ambush to clear land 9. We'll go for a minor power first. We'd go for a major if we didn't want to use Sudden Ambush. Let's see here. Reaching Grasp, Drift Down into Slumber, Call of the Dahan Ways, and Quicken the Earth Struggles. Drift Down into Slumber isn't going to be enough defense, generally speaking, but it does at least have an air element. Call of the Dahan Ways can be nice to get us an extra Dahan or so, but we're probably not going to hit the threshold on it anytime soon. I think I am going to take Call of the Dahan Ways just because of the upside potential there. And then for our second power gain, I'm going to actually go ahead and roll majors at this point. And there's Vigor of the Breaking Dawn, which will probably just win us the game outright at this point. So we'll take Vigor. I'm going to forget Call of the Dahan Ways, which we just gained, I know, but it doesn't have great elements for comboing with Vigor. So, Sudden Ambush. Let's take that Explorer out with Dahan from land 9. High Immigration, the Invaders build in the mountains, but they don't because of the adjacency build, and the Independent Resolve doesn't matter because no adjacency build, and no builds in the wetlands. So, we're actually doing wonderfully here. Alright, and then we get to gather 2, push 1. So, I'm going to gather, let's see, we really need to start handling this Sands up here in land 1 in the near future because they are going to potentially get a capital there. Land 4 will more or less take care of itself. The Explorer should die in the Ravage, and then it shouldn't build because there's no adjacencies. But gather the warriors. I'm going to start forming a nice Dahan army here in land 5 and push 1 Dahan into land 1 just to get us a foothold in there. We deal 1 damage to the Explorer and move on. All right, now we're going to go ahead and unlock our second card play I'm going to get some extra presence into land 1, because we're going to be hitting that with manifestation really hard as soon as we can. And I'm going to, let's see, do we want Vigor Thresholded this turn? There isn't really a good target for it yet, just because, I mean, we could use it on land 5 and then push into land 1. In thinking about it, maybe I should have set up land 2 instead last turn, but I'm going to go ahead and use the old Voice of Thunder manifestation of Power and Glory this turn, and let us Words of Warning Vigor the Breaking Dawn next turn as need be. This will set us up for a nice big manifestation in land 1. Vader's building the sands twice. That could lose us the game, actually. One moment. Do we need to Vigor? Yeah, we need to Vigor, actually, because if we don't Vigor here, they have a risk of getting their capital on the Explorer unless it's coastal lands, in which case we got lucky, but I think we'll be a lot happier if we use Vigor. So we have Thresholded Vigor, so we use it on land 5, which is empty, push the 2 Dahan into land 1. This is going to give us quite a bit of damage. How much total? 6 damage from Vigor and then 2 damage from the push. So I'm going to take out the 2 towns and yeah, just waste a couple of the damage there. Unfortunately, we can't use it in time on that. Well, Words of Warning down in land 4, because why not? Immigration, they build in the sand, they build again. That's fine, we'll be able to... Oh, and we got coastal lands, so that's a thing. But that's fine. Alright, so now we're going to gather 2, push 3 with our Gather the Warriors power, which I'm going to use in the lower half of the map, actually. I'm going to gather these 2 Dahan and push one of them into land 3 and one of them into land 4. That's going to be nice for getting that coastal lands cleared. It's going to stop the build ravage cycle from the England effects. And we get to take out another town in land 1. Now this turn, I'm going to go ahead and grow twice from the bottom track and get that manifestation set up so that we can really hit land 1 hard, and then push into land 2 afterwards. We are going to waste a little bit of... We're going to waste a card play here, but that should be okay as well. Alright, Invaders building the wetlands, Independent Resolve is fine. And Invaders exploring the jungles, which is less fine, but we'll get through it. Alright, so I'm gonna Manifestation of Power and Glory, which clears most of that land. Lead the Furious Assault, take out another town. And then Voice of Thunder, I want to get these Dahan from land 4 up, and we're going to be able to defend in land 1, I think, pretty effectively. So I want to get these in place for our eventual win condition. So let's reclaim cards, gain a minor, because we're running a little low on energy. None of these is really relevant. We'll take Gift of Constancy. And do we want Drought or Call to Bloodshed? Those are both potentially really good for us here. I think that with 3 card plays, Drought is going to edge out Call to Bloodshed. Is that right? No, because we can... Because we're going to take some Blight. So let's take Call to Bloodshed. That Sun and Animals so that we can Threshold Vigor is really nice. Speaking of which, I'm going to go ahead and play Vigor of the Breaking Dawn. That's going to take out... We're going to leave 2 Explorers in land 1, and we're going to deal some serious damage to land 2. I'm also going to play Words of Warning, and I'm going to be playing... do I want Gift of Constancy or Voice of Thunder more? Voice of Thunder obviously increases our ability to push Dahan. Gift of Constancy is pretty useful for reclaiming cards. We do have 2 fear cards lined up, and we are only 7 fear away from winning. So I'm going to play... We are going to get a reclaim 1 as well, so I'm going to play Voice of Thunder this turn. And then with Thresholded Vigor, I'm going to deal 6 damage and land 1. Oh, excuse me. And then push 2 Dahan into land 2, which will let us take out the city, as well as 2 explorers. And then we're going to have Words of Warning, and we're going to have a bit of a trust fall here. I'm going to use Words of Warning on land 2 and hope that land 1 gets some kind of defense in it for the Dahan or for our presence or for being coastal. With 3 fear cards, we have pretty good odds of something happening in our favor. That's okay. All right, in each land defend 1 per Dahan. Perfect. And invaders do not explore into lands with at least 2 Dahan. All right. Invaders ravaging the coastal lands. We take out a town. They build a city. They explore the mountains, which doesn't do any good for them. And now we can push 4 Dahan into here. Take out the city. Lead the Furious Assault. Take out all 3 towns. And we win. Pretty effective game there. We got a score of 111. Not bad. We had very good luck with the Invader deck. Good sequencing let us really keep the left half of the board and this bottom half of the board clear of things, and it was just a question of how long it took us to get to Terror level 2 and take out those capitals in lands 1 and 2 up near the top of the board. Thanks for watching, though, and have a great rest of your day.